All right, guys, let's do a message for Scorpio or Scorpio cross-watcher. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know I'm in very Scorpio energy today, which, you know, I do have Scorpio in me. I like the way that sounds. So sometimes I can be really quiet and observant and just less talkative is all, and deeper than other times. And I feel very deep today. I had very deep dreams last night, even some that made me emotional, and I'm in a deep place, so bear with me. I think it's relevant, and I skipped to you today. Something made me want to do Scorpio. I don't know when I'm going to upload this. Something's telling me to upload it sooner, and usually when you do that, people might get upset, but if I feel that it needs to be said or come out, then I have to do it. And something said go to Scorpio. So it's not going to be for everybody, of course. When is it ever? But for whoever it's for, here you go. Reverse it if you need to. You got a card trying to come out. Ten of Swords. Black hole sun, won't you come? Black hole sun. Soundgarden. What does the song mean? Black hole sun, song meaning. Now, you know there's different interpretations of songs, but this says it's a reference to female anatomy. The song is about sex. Wait, what? Is it? Surreal dreamscape, a weird play with the title kind of song. To me, Black hole sun is one that starts the world over again. Okay, I don't know what the song means. There's different interpretations. Wash away the rain, suggesting a desire for cleansing and perhaps even an end. I just talked about that yesterday. All right, well, let me get off that. Maybe that song in and of itself is very relevant for someone here. Black hole sun. I'm not going to talk about the meaning anymore because I think it's for maybe just a few people here and you'll know what it means for you, but that's coming through. Okay. Scorpio. Sometimes it means something in the message, and it could, and I'm just not picking it up. Or it's for a specific person to hear that and be like, oh, okay, that song means something on a personal level. Wash away a desire for an ending or a change. Wow. Wow. Oh, you got 4 majors. The Star, Death, Hierophant, the Devil. This can actually go a whole lot of ways. Like someone desires for a change in the world, even if it's for it to end. And yes, that is brutal and dark and hard to hear for some. But I did pick up on that yesterday and I posted about it. I had this whole epiphany during a message, and then I made a post about it from the scene in The Neverending Story when Gamork is talking to Atreyu. But you guys can check that out if you want to. It's on my community post over here on this channel. So yes, I'm picking up on that here, but also let me see it. I want to see it for some reason in a specific light. Somebody feels like a specific something needs to change or needs to even end in order for them to have something they more want, which can go again in a lot of ways. Let's say you have a partner here. We got people who are in relationships or married. You go through the Hierophant. It could be whatever. This could be someone who's like, I want to start spicing it up a little bit. So that would mean death would have to occur in a sense of we would have to change how we've been doing things and maybe introduce some new things into our relationship, whatever those things are. But it could also be where someone is like, I want this to end so I can have them. Okay, hold on. Wow, look, you got the Hierophant and the Death card too. Taurus, Scorpio. There's the Hierophant right there begging the horseman to spare him, to spare his family. It's like a prayer almost, like someone's praying. I do see somebody praying here. You got the Tower at the bottom of the deck. Please, no, not us. Okay, hold on. Bear with me. Something told me to go to Scorpio, and here we are. We got the Death card. That's Scorpio. This feels like a relationship on the rocks. It could, I mean, and it seems like it's kind of a big deal because you got so many majors here. This is some sort of connection on the rocks, or maybe someone's in some sort of spiritual or religious crisis, like they're changing. You got the devil and the Hierophant here. That's like God and the devil. Someone could be at a turning point in their belief system and is struggling with the change because that means the rest of their life is going to have to change. They're going to have to go down another path. They could be struggling with the right path, the left path. You know what I mean? Somebody here on a personal journey, but the person could be in a relationship. I'll just say it in general because I don't know if you're in a relationship or how this goes, but somebody here who could very well have a partner, maybe like, but I'm going through some sort of change. And we all know that Scorpios go through many deaths. There's more than just the scorpion that represents the Scorpio, and you don't have to be the Scorpio watching this, but there's the Phoenix and an eagle. So Scorpio here, or someone, looks like you, but someone is going through a change. It could be in their beliefs. It could be in their relationship. It's an internal change. It's a change within. Like they are being, it's death. And so it's like, because I'm going through this, I can't help it. It's like I'm called to change. This is something, I can't explain it. And I know that other people may not agree or may not feel like it's right or but the truth is, I'm changing. And so in somebody changing, they've begun to get a little distant because they don't recognize themselves in the life they are now. I totally relate to this. I relate to this message, whether it's you or another person, where for so long you believed a certain way and went about something a certain way, and then something happens. I don't know how quickly it happens. I don't know what the thing is that happens. For me, one of my things was a near-death experience, a major one. That totally changed my view on a lot of things. There's been so many deaths I've had in this life. So many spiritual deaths. And this is a spiritual death. It's one that's needed. It's one that is major. It's important on a person's personal journey on this planet. But they already have perhaps a life that has looked a certain way to this point, but now the road is forking, it's going another direction. And so that's going to be hard, because people are going to be like, you're going the wrong way. And it's like, but how do you know I'm going the wrong way? Maybe this is where our path ends, or something like that. The problem is, I've changed, or I'm in the process of changing, or I'm in the process of metamorphosis, and others around me can't accept that, or, it's getting too hard for me to continue on as I'm doing, because I don't, this isn't me. Yep, tornado and mountain and death. This isn't me. And so things are going to have to change, whether it's relationships, routines. What was at the bottom of the deck? Yes, the star. Someone's beliefs are changing. It's like this intuitive knowing, like they know. They've heard the call or something like that. And now things are being broken down. There is something here that's completely over and done. And it might just be internally in a person right now. And then it's going to start having to show up on the outside. Like their life is going to change. It could be your life with a person is going to change because of the change going on inside of you, or the change going on inside of them. It could be somebody on the outside of you, someone you know. This is happening. This is occurring. A storm is brewing, so I feel like it's in the process of happening internally in a person, and therefore it will eventually show up on the outside. Because it'll have to. Because the life that someone has known thus far was fine. I mean, that's who they were, but now they're different. People change. And that's people have a hard time accepting that, but people change. Not everybody changes. Some people go their whole lives in the same situations, and there's nothing wrong with that. That might be their truth. That might be what they came here to do. But there are some people that come here, and you could call us the black sheep. I lump myself into that group. Because, yeah, whether you want to be or not. And not necessarily of the family, but just the black sheep, period. You stand out like a sore thumb type thing. You just, and you might not have even wanted to have the change or the metamorphosis that you've had, but life has a funny little way of saying, gotcha. And you can run from it. You can deny it. You can avoid it, but it'll catch up to you. I mean, we didn't all come here for the same reason. I think people think that we did. Some people do. They believe, and I did. I know that because I did. That's what I was taught. We all came here to do the same thing and follow the same path and believe in the same entities or the same saviors. And unfortunately, it's just not true. Well, fortunately, unfortunately. And this has been a theme for a while. Have you guys noticed that? The light and the dark. It's always existed. It exists for balance. The sun, the moon, And I did talk about this before because it came to me. My grandmother was still alive. I remember because I was over there and she was in the other room, and I had this major epiphany. And I think I did a shorts video on it, but I was saying, sometimes people will be like, oh, you're so dark. There's something so dark about you. Or you can just tell you're a sinner. You can just tell you're evil, or I don't know, whatever people think and whatever people say. And it's like, interesting. We are created, or we grow at least, inside of a womb. Some people in a petri dish, some people in other places. But mostly, most of us grow in a womb. What's inside that womb? Darkness. And before we even get into the womb, we're swimming around in a ball sack, which is dark. It's dark on the inside. When we close our eyes, we have eyelids for a reason. We close our eyes, it's dark. Throughout the day, it's light, and then it's dark, But our bodies, think of our bodies are like refrigerators. Picture your refrigerator right now. It has a light in it, doesn't it? But not when you have it closed. When you open it up, the light is exposed. Imagine an autopsy. Do you think we're light on the inside? There's no light inside of us unless you stick like a scope down our throat with a light on it. There's no light inside of us. We're dark and light, just like my shadow on the wall, and the fact that you can see me right now because there's lights on me. But behind me is my shadow. She goes everywhere I go. She's part of me. My past is part of me. But people want you to forget that. They want you to be ashamed. And how can you do that and really ever fully know yourself if you don't know? Now, you can choose a side. But how can you if you don't know both sides? You know the movie Beautiful Creatures? If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. I think it's, don't hold me on this, but I think it's free on YouTube. The girl, she has these like gifts, right? And, well, Noah said it like that. She literally does. And on her, what is it, like 16th birthday, she's due to see if she is for the dark side or the light side. We do have the devil and the Hierophant here. Is she for the dark side or the light side? And she basically, she's been led to believe that she doesn't have a choice, that it will choose her, I believe. But this guy she starts loving, who is immortal, she's immortal, I guess, or I don't know, but he's immortal, he has no powers. He tells her, you can choose. You can choose the path. Wait, what? I can? This is someone who may have thought that they couldn't choose a path due to their programming, due to their beliefs, due to their religion, due to their family, due to, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't know. Maybe they believe, I don't know, whatever it is, it's major and somebody's changing and they can't help it. It's like they're being called. It's like the hero's journey. Called to action or something like that. Joseph Campbell. The hero's journey. Stages. Now I know there's 2 heroes' journeys, like they've condensed it and made it smaller, but I believe that there's actually 17 stages or something like that. I think it's like the ordinary world and the call to adventure. Somebody's been in the ordinary world, but they are receiving the call to adventure. And they've been receiving the call to adventure. That's why it hasn't like necessarily disrupted too much of their personal life yet, or their life on the outside of them, as within so without, because it's been happening within a person for a while now, maybe. Or maybe it was like that. You never know, do you? Sometimes it takes just a huge wake-up call. And it can be anything that does it. But either way, you know, after the call to adventure, you have step 3, which is refusal of the call. This person's been refusing the call. They've already been past that point. This is someone who's not refusing the call anymore. That's the thing, because they can't any longer. Whether this is you or another, we can't. What are we doing, huh? We're going to refuse it? Okay, that's fine. You can choose. You can choose to suppress. But they meet a mentor along the way. The mentor can be anything. The mentor can be a near-death experience. The mentor can be a person. It can be a lesson. It's anything. And the mentor kind of pulls the veil back and shows us the other side of the moon, the dark side of the moon. The other side of things. There was a story I heard as a child. I'm going to jack this up, I think. Jacqueline. I'm hearing names. Jacqueline, Jack and Jill. Jocelyn is also coming to me. Jocelyn. Joyce. Sorry guys. Oh yeah, okay. So there was a story, I think it was like a chicken soup for the soul story, perhaps. I don't remember, but anyway, bear with me. I might mess this up, but There was something I heard when I was younger about like kids who were in school and they just could not get along. These two kids, they were always fighting with each other and just always at each other's necks, and they could only see their perspective, which is all of us, you know. And so this teacher that they had one day brought this big ball to class. As the kids were sitting in the class in front of her, she brought this ball to class and set it on the center of her desk. And then she called up these two kids, right, who just couldn't get along with each other. And she told one of them to stand on the left side and one of them to stand on the right side. And she, you know, they're looking at each other from across her desk at it, like, I'm gonna, like, you know. And she asks one of them, she goes, what color do you see on this ball? And the boy goes, it's white. What are you asking me for that? You clearly, it's white. Can't you see it? Why are you asking me? It's a stupid question. I hate school. God, I can't wait to go home and smoke a cigarette. You know? And then she turns to the other guy and she goes, what color is this ball? And he's like, it's not white. He looks across the guy. He's like, it's not white. It's black. He's like, God, man. Because it's just like, you just want to argue with me no matter what. So then the teacher hears them for a minute going back and forth arguing about, again, they just can't get along because they only see their side of things. One only sees the light side, only believes the white, and it's really of no fault of their own. It's just what they see. And then the other one only sees the dark side of things. So then she goes, switch. Go ahead, switch. So they switched. And then she goes, all right, now, what do you see? And the boys didn't know what to say. They were like, so how can you judge or say something when you've only really seen one side? You don't know what the other person's seeing. You can't say at all that this is that if you've only seen this. You don't know. And vice versa. And so that's what I'm seeing here. Like somebody is realizing there's a man behind the curtain. Aha moment. They're having an epiphany. Aha moment, discovery, breakthrough, reveal, realize, enlightenment, invention, epiphany. They're having an awakening right now, and it's going to disrupt their lives. Or you are. It's going to disrupt y'all's life. Something like that. But, hangman. It's showing somebody that they've been disillusioned. And now they're gaining a perspective that they didn't have before because they were only around people that had the same perspective. And now something has happened. A mentor has come along, some sort of mentor, something, and poked just a fucking little bit of light. Just a little bit of a poke. Like a paper cut or a splinter. And that little bitty poke popped the balloon. So now it's becoming heavy on the people in their life, friends, family, religious organizations or spiritual organization, whatever it is, anybody. It's becoming a lot on them because they're dealing with a person who's I don't know how they're acting right now, you, them, whoever this is, who's going through kind of a dark night of the soul. They're going through an unveiling, an unraveling, a peeling back of the layers, a blooming onion of the soul. They're being shed. And it's rough on the people that are so convicted and convinced of what they believe someone should be continuing with and should be doing. They can still only see the white or only see the dark. Whereas this person realizes there's both, and both can also be a little bit of the other. They're still on the same fucking coin, aren't they? One might be heads, one might be tails, but it's still in the same coin. And how can you really judge? Because we're all a little light and we're all a little dark. And when we die, we'll be placed in the darkness again. Our physical bodies, anyway. They put us in a coffin, we go in a grave, it's dark. If we get cremated, we were in a box. It's dark. Some may even see this person as being tempted by the fruit of another. That's what I heard. Tempted by the fruit of another. That sounds like shit. Tempted by the fruit of another. The lovers and the devil. They see it as temptation or lust that is drawing someone in or pulling them away from their faith or pulling them away from their belief. That has a hold on them. It's like, you know, somebody's seeing it like that. But that's not actually true. I don't see lust here. There's no lust here. But there is enlightenment. Something has shown a light on what's actually false, and it's the way that someone's been believing that they need to be. And that can't be easy for the person. It's not easy for the people in their life, and that's understandable. It's really not easy for the person going through it. Imagine how they're feeling, you know? If it's you, if it's another. But someone, I'm telling you, someone knows. It's like inevitable. Like it's I don't even know what to say. My cat's, there's no escaping it. Divine intervention, duality, perfect timing, ascension, serendipity, good luck, cohesive. Like this is time. It can't be helped. It's like you want to hold a baby inside when the baby's trying to come through the birth canal and be like, I'm not ready yet. I need another month. Well, sorry, but that baby's going to come out. If it's got to take a little piece of you with it, like rip your cooter halfway open. And most of us have had that happen. And it's not fun, okay? The healing process is awful. You might as well just let them cut you. But sometimes you don't. And, well, they find a way out anyway, you know what I mean? So, you can hold in a poop all day, but eventually you'll shit yourself. Like, you know, you got to get out. Someone's got to get out of this. Someone's got to get out of a home, out of a belief, out of a certain organization, out of a certain hierarchy, out of a certain whatever, tradition. Something they've been doing. The safety net, the comfort zone of the light. It's time to go into it. It's like whenever I journeyed with ayahuasca, which you don't have to. You don't have to do any of those things. You don't have to take combo or journey with combo. You don't have to do ayahuasca. You don't have to take DMT. You don't have to do any of that. Everything's within you, and you'll know that if you ever do breath work. You don't have to ever drink any certain tea or do any of that. Not that there's anything wrong if you want to. I mean, whatever. It's each their own. Everybody's on their own journey. But if you want to feel the exact same way, you want to get high, do breath work. And you will realize how powerful you really are as a human being alone. You need nothing else to get you high, to get you out of here, to make you see things on the other side. Breathe. That's it. Breathe properly and you'll reach it. I know from experience. How would I know that if I haven't done it? Because it's just what I've been taught, what's been passed down, what I believe. Beliefs are strong, man. Anyway, but experience is a motherfucker. So, what was I saying before that? I don't remember. Yeah, so someone's struggling with another person's transformation. Well, a lot of people might be. Because it's kind of like, oh, you've got... Oh, God. I'm hearing a song that I also heard as a kid, and I don't remember where I heard this, but I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. So there could be people who are praying for this person, but what they don't understand is it's kind of presumptuous, because what they're praying for is actually someone's path. they're praying against a certain path, but it is the person's path to go this way because they actually have a significant purpose. Like people could have prayed all day for me to never become an alcoholic, for example. I'm going to use myself as an example. I had to be an alcoholic. How would I be able to do, obviously I was meant to still be here or I'd be dead. I almost died. If I had never walked on the dark side, if you will, and those prayers had worked, I wouldn't have helped some people today. I would have been able to relate. I don't know if it helped. They told me, but it's not about that. It's just I wouldn't have been able to relate and understand. I would have been very judgmental. Now, I hope that we don't have to personally experience everything. Basically, some of us should be able to learn from other people's mistakes so we don't have to do them all ourselves, because it's rough, I'm telling you. It's exhausting to have to figure it all out yourself. But some of us came here to do that. It sucks, man. You think we like that? You think we were excited about it? No. But some of us came here to learn the fucking hard way. Sorry, we did. And maybe this isn't even that, learning the hard way. Maybe it's someone's path to experience a certain side of things so that they can bring back a new perspective or just be on the right path. It's like when train tracks shift. Somebody's train tracks are shifting. And other people might be, even if they mean well, you know what I mean? They're praying for this person for it to not work out, for the evil to leave them and, something like that. But I don't see a person being tempted. I see them gaining knowledge that they didn't have. Knowledge that the path that they were currently on didn't want them to necessarily have in this way, because not knowing this certain knowledge kept them obedient. But Phoenix, that's Scorpio. It's a very hard pill to swallow for other people. They're going to have a hard time accepting it. What a sinner you are. Or it could be the opposite. Someone could be going to God, and it could be it just depends. This is a very religious tone to this here. Religious and spirituality, and maybe even a mix of both of it, because again, we're light and dark. And so someone may end up standing alone in the end, in their own revelation. Because whatever someone's seeing, they are now convicted that they are now obedient and convicted to this, because once you see, you can't unsee. But had they not switched spots, they would have never seen this. They would have continued on only seeing that this is the path. It's kind of like when certain governments or structures or hierarchies, they don't want you to travel to other places. They want to make it difficult. They want to say you got to get this vaccine and do this, and don't go here because they have these plagues and they have this. Don't go into these territories because it will kill you. It's bad. And there's this and that, and they look for tourists because they want you to be scared. They don't want you to travel. They want us to stay in our little bubbles and fast cities and quick cities and be in our little, in our cookie cutter worlds, so that we don't experience what else is out there. That's the truth of it. But people believe things like other things in other places. But if we don't know about that, and we're none the wiser, and we're ignorant to it, we're easily controlled, and we're obedient, and we stay in line. Because that's what we're supposed to do. Well, that's what we say we're supposed to do. But there's people in a whole nother place who they've been taught something else. And how will any of us ever receive any other type of light on a situation if what we think we see is the light? But maybe it's also over here. And is that making sense? I hope I'm translating that well. Yeah, so somebody is changing because it's time and they were called to, like it or not. High Priestess. They got people watching them, spying, gathering information, trying to figure out what this person's doing, where are they getting their information, who are they really. Looking at the person as they're dancing with the devil. What they're really doing is judging. That's what they're doing. And a person is choosing another path. You got the World and the Lovers. A person is choosing another path and walking away from a path that they have been on. Some may say it's temptation. Some may say it's destiny. It's really all a matter of perspective, I suppose, and belief and programming. I remember one time when I was younger, I think a lot. I'm telling you, it's that Scorpio in me. I remember one time when I was younger, I heard those who do not repent and are baptized will not be saved. And I thought, even then, as a kid, I thought, I mean, I understand that, you know, because I can see every side. And I do believe in my Creator still. But I just don't see how that's true entirely, because what about people in other countries who've never heard about the God that I know or that I've been taught? Are they going to hell? That doesn't seem fair. They don't have, you know, television. They don't have cell phones. They don't have, you know, computers. They don't have any of that. And we're you know, they like to keep us from each other. Don't go into this territory. It's bad. You'll have this fly that bites you and lays a maggot in your body. Like, don't go. Be scared. The food's bad. You'll get trafficked. I mean, you get trafficked anywhere. Fear. Fear keeps you in line. And that's the fucking truth. Fear. Fear that you're going to die and go. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but that just always rang a bell to me. And I'm like, what about people in other places that aren't, is that they're just spared? They're just spared? What if they think the same thing about us with their religion or faith or spirituality or whatever they believe in? Therefore, on another spectrum, am I spared because I don't know about their God? Or is it all just the one God and the one belief? And those who aren't able to know about it because they're not in places that are, you know, available and rich and ripe with that information, they're spared. I mean, I don't know. It's just really all confusing. I don't really know. But I want to say I got to a place where I eventually just kind of accepted it all. I was just open to it all. My light and my dark. Because I used to be a very judgmental person. Extremely convinced that what I believed was truth was the only truth. And I would have never left that belief. But life had a funny little way of, you know, stumbling me into some things that happened that created what people would like to call traumas. And those traumas then helped me to create addictions. And those addictions forced me to see the other side of things that I would have otherwise never considered. And I think it was all meant to happen. I'm not ashamed of what's happened. Used to be. I never really quite fit in anyway. So I should have known I had a different path here. I never did, never fit in. I've always been kind of led to situations where I've needed to see both sides. I don't know if it's because my opposite is Libra, and Libra is really great at that, or what it is. Could just be my purpose. So anyway, that's the message. This is long. Thank you guys for being here with me, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.